Hi everyone, welcome to the world of Huudwraps Vinyl Company. My name is Adibayo, and in this video we'll be talking about wrapping a laptop. So the first thing you should know if you want to wrap a laptop is to get a cloth, a very clean cloth. I recommend you use a microfiber cloth. They are actually very soft materials, they are very good. They are not clothes that gives your gadget scratches. There are some clothes that when you are trying to use them to clean your gadgets, they eventually give them little scratch. You might not pay attention to it, but they do. So microfiber is one of the best material you should use to clean your laptop. Even for car wraps, any kind of wraps you want to do, make sure you get a microfiber cloth, then use them to clean it. So after that, after you've done your cleaning and everything is all smooth, no dust and anything, you get your wrap around, open it up, set your laptop to your own comfort. Make sure you're well seated in a position that you don't feel unease and all. So you place your wrap on the laptop, then you squeegee. Make sure you don't put the entire wrap on the laptop. You have to have some space around it so that you can cut. So you squeegee, you pull out the papers, squeegee down to the end of the laptops, and you make sure you don't have any bubbles. So this was the main reason why I said you have to clean your laptop from dust or whatever dust that might be on your laptop, because if you have dust around some dust or dirt on your laptop, they might actually eventually give you some kind of bubbles on your laptop. So make sure you don't have any dust or any dirt on your laptop. So if you eventually, while you are squeegeeing, you find out you have a bubble, you have to squeegee all your bubbles out. Like that's what I was doing in that part of wrapping the laptop. So, and also you check out the edges, make sure they are all covered, like it's all covered, all the edges, they are all covered. Then after doing all that, you keep squeegeeing, just to be sure you don't have any bubbles. You fill them with your squeegee. If you have any bubbles around, you fill it with your squeegees. Then you squeegee them out. So you plug your heat gun. So this is one thing I do to have a clean cut around the edges. I do it all around the edges. I use my heat gun to hit around the whole edges of the laptop, and make sure I'm always doing that, because most people don't pay attention to that. They don't usually use squeegee for it, but it's one thing I advise as a beginner. You have to squeegee around the edge of your laptops so you can have a clean cut. You know what I mean? The wraps would have already like fallen, would have like rested on the edge. So that's one of the main reasons why you need to always squeegee at the edges of the laptops, so they will be very easy. It will be very easy for you to cut. Sorry about that. So you can see what I just did at that edge. Now I had to hit that part of it, so I'll pull it down a bit because the wrap is already very soft. So I'll have a smooth cut. The way you can do as you proceed with me, you see that along. Yeah, so you can make sure you, like, once you've done the hits around the edges, you can pull down the wrap a little bit, because the wrap is going to be a bit soft. It's going to be like stretchy, so you can stretch it a little bit just for it to relax at the edges of the laptop, like what I'm doing around there now. So then it takes you down to how you cut it. Please make sure you are very careful when you are trying to always cut the wrap on around the laptop. You have to be really, really careful. You don't want to cut the laptop's body. Always make sure the blade is sitting on the laptop. You get, and you cut straight. You don't cut slant. You have to cut very straight. And please make sure your blade is really sharp, because if you don't have a sharp blade, that is when you might want to be like maneuvering your way around it. You have to have a very sharp blade. If that blade is not sharp, change it, put another one. So you cut straight. You have your blade resting on the laptop, not cutting the laptop itself, resting on the laptop. Then you go straight. You follow the line of the laptop. Believe me, if you can follow that line, you are going to have a straight cut and a smooth cut. So you cut straight, and if you want to get the edges, like the edges around the laptop, the corner piece, if you want to have a smooth cut, like I said earlier, you have to use your heat gun on those aspects. Then you pull down the wrap a bit. Once you put down the wrap a bit, you let it cool. Once it's cool, you cut straight. And please make sure your blade is sharp. You know I'm saying this over and over again. You have to make sure your blade is sharp. Then you keep cutting straight down to the end. Down to the end. Once you are doing that to the end, once you get to the corner piece side, you slow down, then follow it. It has to be a smooth round cut. Once you can follow it and have a smooth round cut, believe me, you're going to have a perfect cut. If you notice, I have to go back again, check if I have extra like excess wraps at the edges of the laptop to recut. So if you have excess, if you want to know if you have excess wraps at the edges of the laptop, once you put your hands at the tip of the laptop, you will feel like, okay, this wrap wants to go from the laptop, but you have to cut them out. But once you put your hand there, you don't feel like any wrap wants to go up. That means the wrap is already synchronized with the edges already. So you can see I'm cutting the edges over here. So I'm taking my time. The corner piece are very, very important to get. If you don't get it, it might ruin the entire wrap. That is one thing. That has to be well did, very smooth cut. So that is one thing I'm always ensuring at every beginners. The corner pieces are one of the most important place to get when you want to cut the wraps. You can see what I did there. I had to confirm if like the corner piece is well smoothened. So I had to recheck with your blade. I'm confirming if I have any excess wrap around every edge. So any place I notice I have any excess wrap, I put the blade on the laptop, you get, then go straight. Then it's going to cut any excess wrap to have a smooth cut. That's that about that. So as you can see, while I'm using the blade to cut any excess wrap and at the corner piece of the laptop, I'm making sure that there's no any excess wrap around it, because those are places where your younger ones, your son, your anybody can just say, I like want to peel the wrap off the laptop. But excuse me, if you have a smooth cut around it and there's no any excess wrap, there's no way they can take it off. To take it off, you have to find a very sharp object to pull off that, a very tiny sharp object, maybe like your needle, to pull out the wrap from it. So that's why it's very good to cut every excess wrap around it. So as you can see what I did at the corner piece over there, I took my time and I used my hand in tracing it to feel if there's any excess wrap while cutting around the corner at the same time. And just look how I'm cutting straight out of the edges of the laptop with a straight line, just going, maintaining the straight line, going slow and steady. You don't need to rush when doing something this delicate. You don't need to rush, so you have to take ownership of everything. So yep, you can see I'm pulling out the laptop to cut the other edge at the back, at the side of the laptop. You can see I'm trying, if you see, I'm tapping the laptop like as if I want to put something up. I'm trying to feel if there's any excess wrap around it. So that's why I did my hand like that at the edges. So I'm going to pick up my heat gun for this edge parts to go smooth, so that I can have that straight line, and I can pull down the wrap a little bit so it can sit on those edges. So once it's dried up, you can see I'm using my hand to make it straight and smooth. So you should fall on that edges. So as it's drying up, there's a line on it already. You can see me pulling it up a little bit. So there's a line already. I'm just going to follow that line while cutting. That's what I'm gonna do. And for the inch part of the laptop, it's really delicate. You guys have to be really careful, because there are some old laptops that they have wires around that huge part and they're using a very sharp blade. You might not even know when you cut those wires. And those wires will affect the screen of the laptop. The screen might go blank, or it might affect one function on the laptop. So you have to be careful when cutting this part of the laptop. So you have to be very careful. So once you've done your straight cutting, the inch part is the part that makes the laptop very easy to open. Like when you open the laptop, there's those, don't worry, along the video you see it. You see when I'm making a cut around that part. So you see what I'm talking about. So you just cut straight. If you notice, I didn't cut straight down finish, unlike the previous videos. So I had to cut from there to one edge and stop, then cut to other edge and stop. So I'm making the cut around the inch part of the laptop, so I had to cut that part out of it on a straight line like I said earlier. So it had to meet up with the other one I was cutting, so they had to meet in between. So you can see me pulling that one out, then I'll just cut that one straight just once and for all, and that's it about that part. Then we'll do the same to the other part of the laptop too. Follow the edges, always follow the edges. I just did like a four corner cut. That is another way to have a clean cut around the corner piece side. You can do a four corner cut, then one horizontal and vertical, have a four corner cut. Then after doing a four corner cut, then you go slowly around the edges, then when you get to the corner piece side, you go very slow, then cut once. You don't have to like go back and you just cut once. So but if you feel that you still have excess wrap, you can go back again. You cut once, you can go slow, but make sure your blade is sharp. Your blade has to sharp. If your blade is sharp, you are going to have a very smooth cut in everything in doing your installation, like a very, very smooth cut. That is just the honest truth. If you have a very sharp blade, you have a very smooth cut. So I'm doing the other part of the laptop too, the other edge rather. So same thing, let the blade rest on the laptop, then you cut straight. You cut straight. You can see where I stopped there because there's an inch. That's where the inch starts from. The inch is around that corner. Yeah, the inch is around that corner. I had to stop. So there's a inch around that corner. I had to stop, slow down a bit, turn the other way, cut in between the inch and the edges of the laptop to have a smooth cut towards the other way. Just exactly the way I did the other part. So please, you have to be very, very careful. Like, those inch parts are really, really important when you are trying to cut around them. You don't want to damage somebody else's laptop, only the name you are trying to wrap. So you have to be really, really careful. If you notice, I really took my time on this part of the laptop, so I have to be very careful. So just like what I did the other part, I cut from the other angle and also from the other angle, so it was like in between. So I just had to pull out that wrap. If you see those lines at the laptop, those are the inch parts. Those are where they call the inch parts. So I'll make a demarcation, like I'll put a sign to show you that this is the inch part I'm talking about. So you have to be careful. Yeah, I'm done with the whole laptop. I'm just confirming if there's any excess wrap around the edges that I need to cut from. So that's what I'm doing, cutting confirming, using my hands to confirm if there's any excess wrap in the edges, at the edges of the laptop. So I'm probably cutting those excess wrap out of the laptop, so everything can be smooth, it can rhyme, it can all synchronize with the laptop. It's just going to be all covered up, so don't be any issue of maybe the wrap peeling off or anything. It's going to be like that. Only if you want to remove the wrap itself, it's going to be like that, like for life. It's going to be glued to the laptop for life. And the good thing about all this thing is when you want to even remove it, it's as good as new. Like, your laptop is as good as you didn't even use it at all. Whatever scratch you are meant to have or anything is going to be all taken by the scratch. So if you notice, I had to reduce my blade to the lowest in cutting that part because I don't know if there's a wire there. And you can also check when you open the laptop, check around the side. If you notice that there's no wire there, then you are good. But at the same time, you still need to be careful. I'm always very careful at that part. I'm always very, very careful. I reduce my blade to the lowest length and that's like trim around it, then cut out that wrap from that part. So the same thing I did here is what I'll do to the other part of the inch part of the laptop. You will see that reason. So you can see how I cut out the excess wrap at that part, because there's a reason why we do cut this part. If we don't cut it, the laptop won't be able to open to its full capacity. Sure, you get, it's going to be restricted by that part because you know it's going to be locking it down. It's going to open fully, so it's going to be restricted with the wrap because of the old gum and everything. So it will be restricting it, so we do cut it out. So once we cut it out, the laptop can open to the normal length is meant to be open to from the original, like the original state. So you get, so the same thing I did to that part of the inch, the same thing I did to the inch part of the laptop, sorry, is the same thing I'm going to do to this other part of the laptop too. So that's what I'm doing to the other inch part of the laptop. Following the line, I reduce my bleed to the minimum length, like to the lowest length, and I'm very careful, because I don't even used to job, even though I don't see any wire or anything, there might just be one sensor or something, because you know most laptops they are doing these days, there's a lot of sensors around it, and it's small thing, this laptop and working, so I just have to be really careful. I don't touch, like I don't put my blade on the laptop, go just at the corner part. So that's what I do, long cut it out. So that's what I did rather. So after that, you notice I already used, I just use mine to like peel it off, smooth as easy as that. So that's it. So and that's about that, about wrapping a laptop. You have a smooth cut, everything is all confirmed, everything is all clean, everything is all nice. You can use it to check around for any SS cut or anything. So thank you for watching this video. Make sure you subscribe, you hit the subscribe button. Yeah, and kindly do well to follow us on all our social media platforms at Huud_Wrap. Thank you for watching the video. Have a wonderful day.